Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Listen to Girl podcast, your go-to podcast for LGBTQ plus news, culture, and the stories that actually matter. I'm your host, and today we have got a packed episode. I mean packed. We're talking about a shocking allegation involving Ruby Rose and Katy Perry, a major political shakeup in Hungary with huge LGBTQ plus implications, a pride flag victory at Stonewall and why it matters, and so much more. And yes, we're going to get into a few bizarre headlines too, because that's what's happening. So buckle up. This one has everything serious, inspiring, messy, and honestly a little chaotic. First, Ruby Rose accuses Katy Perry. We're starting with a story that's already blowing up online. Actor Ruby Rose has accused Katy Perry of sexual assault, alleging the incident took place about 2 decades ago at a nightclub in Melbourne. Rose shared the claim on Threads, saying that the alleged incident happened when they were in their early 20s. They also stated that they reported it to police at the time. And now this is important. Katy Perry's team has strongly denied the allegations, calling them categorically false, dangerous, and reckless lies. At this point, this is a developing situation with two very different narratives. One from Rose describing a past experience, and one from Perry's camp completely rejecting it. As with any allegation like this, it's serious, it's complicated, and it's something that will likely unfold over time. What's also interesting is how this is now playing out publicly on social media before anything else. We're living in a time where stories like this don't break through traditional media anymore. They break on platforms like Threads and raise questions. Who controls the narrative? What happens when allegations go viral instantly? And how do people process truth in real time? For now, we'll continue to watch and see how this develops. Next, the Hungary election, a major LGBTQ plus turning point. This is a big story, like historically big. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has been voted out of power after 16 years. And for the LGBTQ plus community, this is huge. Orbán's government was known for banning LGBTQ content for minors, putting a ban on same-sex marriage, and even banning pride marches entirely in 2025. Yes, I said pride. And not just banning it, allowing police to use facial recognition to identify and fine attendees. But here's the twist. Despite the ban, hundreds of thousands of people still showed up for Budapest Pride in 2025, making it its largest in the country's history. And now, those same voters helped remove Orbán from power. The opposition party, led by Peter Magyar, secured a sweeping victory, winning over 50% of the vote and taking control of parliament. This moment represents something bigger than just politics. It's about resistance, visibility, and what's happening when people refuse to disappear. For LGBTQ plus Hungarians, this could mark the beginning of a new chapter. Now we go to Pride Flag returns to Stonewall. So let's come back to the U.S. because this one is symbolic in the best way. The Pride Flag has officially been restored at the Stonewall National Monument, and yes, that matters. Earlier this year, if you can believe this, the flag was removed under new federal guidance, sparking outrage across the country. Because Stonewall isn't just any place, it's where modern LGBTQ rights movement began. So removing the pride flag from that location, it felt like erasing history. But after legal pressure and public backlash, the government has agreed to restore it permanently. And honestly, this isn't just about a flag. It's about visibility, recognition, and whether LGBTQ plus people are allowed to exist in their own history. Because if we are erased from the place that tells our story, what happens next? So yes, this was a huge win, and we should all celebrate it. Next, a lesbian mom defends a non-binary child. The next story is smaller but powerful. A lesbian mom is going viral after being approached by an anti-trans activist at the California State Capitol. The activist, who has publicly called trans people a medical scandal, filmed herself confronting the mom after learning she had a non-binary child. But instead of backing down, the mom stood her ground, and the internet is loving it. Because in a moment where trans rights are constantly under attack, what people saw was a parent protecting their child, a real-life example of allyship, And a reminder that these issues are not abstract, they are personal. This isn't about politics, it's about families. Our next story is about a lesbian bar saved by the community. So let's talk about something uplifting. The Pearl, Denver's only lesbian bar, announced it was closing due to financial struggles. And if you know anything about lesbian bars in the United States, you know this is a big deal because there are only a few dozen left in the entire country. So losing one more, it really does hit hard. But then something incredible happened. The community rallied and fast. They raised over $83,000 almost immediately, helping to keep the bar open. And honestly, this is what queer community looks like. Because we don't just show up for Pride once a year. We show up when our spaces, are at risk of disappearing. So I'm so happy. If I ever go to Denver again, I would definitely check out the Pearl. Next, entertainment and culture quick hits. Here's a few things we're going to run through with the headlines. Heated Rivalry. The showrunner has revealed that season 2 may not fully adapt the long game, even though fans expect a full storyline. Translation, get ready for some changes. Then we have Britney Spears. Reports say that Britney has voluntarily entered rehab following her DUI incident earlier this year. If true, this is a reminder that healing isn't linear, even for icons. I hope she did go. Next, Pete Buttigieg. He is hinting again that he may run for president in 2028. He is not confirmed, but let's be honest. It sounded like a yes. Is this good for Democrats? Are we ready for a gay president in this country? I am, but is everybody ready for that? So let's see what happens. And then this story. A wild report claims that Byron Neumann allegedly expressed a desire to live as a trans woman in private conversations. And if you don't know who Byron Neumann is, Christy Neumann's husband, who was caught doing bimbo-ication, where he dresses like a bimbo and has videos and pictures taken of him with extra large breasts. We're not even going to unpack all this right now. I'm just adding to this. This is what's happening pile. Let's see what happens. If he wants to be a trans woman, I'm all for it. Be your authentic self, Byron. That's all. Join the world that's being their authentic self. And that's the news today, from major political shifts to community wins to stories that make you stop and go, wait, what? This is why we stay informed, because these stories, big and small, shape our world. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to follow, share, and leave a review. And remember, stay loud, stay informed, and stay proud. I'll be back tomorrow with more LGBTQ plus news.